Well, good morning. I'm doing this as a test to see if I have the capability of making videos on the way into work, just to kind of get some of my thoughts out for the next generation and show a plan as to what it is that I'm attempting to try and do with the stock market. I'm using all my past wisdom and recognizing that if I could get a hold of a young individual, I would tell them to immediately start planning for their retirement, plan for their children's education, stocking away money, putting it into different investments such as the stock market, crypto, and even considering looking at real estate. So along those lines, what I've started doing is I've started reading a massive amount of books. I've read probably 12 books over the last 6 months and highlighted all of those books to condense them down into probably about a fourth or a fifth of their total content. So a 200-page book, I'd probably have about 40 to 50 pages of notes. Out of those 40 to 50 pages of notes, that allows me to speed read those books, say in a day or two, in order to refresh the content that I've currently read. And the idea is, not only does that allow me to keep that information fresh in my mind, but it also allows me to break those down even further into action steps and strategies and plans and things to look for in different situations. So I've got probably 2 to 3 books left that I'd like to read. That means I've got 9 or 10 books currently already completed. And I'll be throwing those into OneNote for anybody to be able to look at even when I'm not on this earth anymore. They'll be able to take that information and that wisdom and hopefully apply it to their lives and get a jump start and not have to start from square one. Another thing that I would probably really suggest for anybody young in their early ages is to start using Acorns once they're out in the marketplace. A simple app that just starts to round up any of your purchases and sock that money away into a mutual fund as a default form of diversification. I've started that for our family at the age of 57, which would mean probably in my 80s I'd have somewhere over $100,000 saved up, which isn't much, but imagine if you would have started that at an earlier age. For instance, we started that for our current youngest child, and that means by the time that she's 18 years old, using this Acorn app, she'll have well over $50,000 socked away for college. We started this when she was 10, and by the time she was 30 years old, she'd have a third of $1,000,000 or over $300,000 saved up, provided that she continues the program after she's 18 years old. So this was the first test, see if I can just get some of these thoughts out. Currently I'm reading a book called Wealth 101 and taking notes and documenting a book called The Smart Money, which talks about insider trading and how to look for those and capitalize on people that are doing insider trading, which is illegal, insider trading, but finding that information and capitalizing on it is not illegal. So currently there's probably somewhere between 13 to 20 different strategies on how to cash flow the stock market. Here's a quick thought for you. If you started out with $2,000 and all you had to do is make 8% per month, let's round that off to 10% per month, and you could trade every other day, all you'd have to make is 1% on your money. So instead of being greedy and looking for a home run or a winner every time in the stock market, you really need a $10 stock to move 10 cents in order to stay on track, or a $5 stock has to move 5 cents, and that happens every day in the market. So when a stock's moving up 30 cents and you're able to go capitalize on it to go move that nickel, you sock away that money, and the magic of compounding interest starts to take effect. And so what happens is that $2,000 started out over the course of a 10-year period would make you $1.24 million. So you can see the excitement that I'm experiencing as to why I'm going down this path. And so, armed with all of this knowledge and the tools and resources to be able to go capitalize on this, the goal is to be able to sock away, say, $40,000 and turn that into a $4,000 income every month, which means that $40,000 would stay intact and giving me $4,000 or $4,000 a month, or roughly $50,000 a year to maintain our current lifestyle. Why am I doing it this way, you may ask? And that's because all of my life I've been an independent contractor, and as an independent contractor, Social Security taxes and getting a Social Security check at retirement is not going to be something that I'll be able to tap into, because as an independent contractor, you don't pay into Social Security. And because I did not sock away anything for retirement, there's no funds there. Something has to be done. And so as a result, I'm working a day job, which I start at 7 o'clock and work until 5:30. I do night work for that same job, and then I do DoorDash afterwards. And I'm using DoorDash as a means of debt reduction, and also to be able to throw that money into the stock market on a weekly basis in order to try and supercharge this whole process. So those are my thoughts for today. Hopefully this video worked out. Hopefully I'll be able to get more information out as to what it is that I'm doing. Another possibility, and we'll talk about this tomorrow, is that if this really starts to take off, then another source of income might be doing fixing and flipping of homes, to quickly do a transaction to flip that property and make some quick cash. And that's something that I don't need to do the work myself. I just have to have the thoughts as to what it is that we're trying to do, and have the ability to hire other people. So with the stock market being a cash flow machine, that may turn into the ability to be able to fix and flip properties. So it's ironically very difficult to get other individuals as excited, because even like I was at a young age, it's difficult to see that far into the future and start planning now for your golden years and your retirement. In the past, it's been a thought of network marketing in order to be able to solve that, and I really just don't care for that. I'm more inclined to wanting to do things in a sense on my own, and I can buy stocks of shares and flip properties and not have to necessarily have employees. But down the road, I may start hiring employees, just because that may allow me, instead of flipping 3 properties per year, I might be able to do 20 properties per year. So, and then that money again can go into the stock market and other types of investments. So, 2 books that I would really recommend reading would be Rich Rich Dad, Poor Dad from Robert Kiyosaki. And the other one would be The Total Money Makeover from Dave Ramsey. I don't believe in Dave Ramsey 100%, and I believe in Robert Kiyosaki 100%. The challenge is not everybody has the risk tolerance to jump into a Rich Dad, Poor Dad entrepreneur mindset. And so if you really kind of take a hybrid approach of both philosophies, starting up an emergency fund, starting to reduce your debt, getting yourself to a point where you feel somewhat secure that if something was to happen with a vehicle or a life emergency, you'd be able to sustain yourself for a period of time, and then jumping over to Robert Kiyosaki and buying investments, and then his philosophy is money in, money out. What do you do with the leftovers? Most people in the Dave Ramsey world buy doodads or stuff, and his philosophy is money in, money out, income minus your liabilities, and the leftover money you buy assets, and then you let the money from the assets turn around and pay for your doodads or your stuff. In a sense, you can massively pay for your debt reduction by paying the minimums on all of your credit cards to maintain your credit rating. But then as you make money in the stock market, you can lump sum that money to go pay off your debt. So, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, hopefully this video worked out, and I'll be able to do more of these on the way into work on a regular basis, and kind of share the mindset of where I'm at and what it is that I'm currently accomplishing and the progress that I'm making. And then hopefully down the road I'll be able to start practicing these different strategies, sharing those different results, and giving you a thumbs up and a go. And this stuff actually does work, and that maybe you'll try it. All right, love you.